Moviepiloten. Ich stehe hier in Berlin vor dem Hotel Adlon für euch und werde gleich Billy Bob Thornton und John Hurt interviewen. Die beiden haben Jayne Mansfield's CAR gemacht, ein großartiger Film, den ich schon auf der Berlinale sehen durfte. Und ich bin sehr gespannt, was die beiden zu erzählen haben.
Carol says we got no business at being in Vietnam. He says it's in vain or something.
That's easy for Carol to say. You ain't fighting the little bastard. Somebody's got to fight the bastards.
You know, Carol actually did his fighting, Jimbo.
What's that supposed to mean? Tell me, Skip.
Could you explain me what the film is about?
Oh, Lordy be. Film is about a lot of things, but it's about relationships. It's about clash of culture. It's about the influence of war on different wars, on different people, on different generations. That's enough, isn't it?
The movie is about the romanticism of tragedy and horror, the examination of and the fear of life and death, and how different generations view war and how it manifests itself within families and what the results of that are.
Why did you call it Jayne Mansfield's CAR? And could you explain to maybe younger audience who Jayne Mansfield was?
Jayne Mansfield was an American film star in the late 50s and the 60s. And she was kind of a Marilyn Monroe type looking woman, you know. And
she very sadly had a terrible crash in which the top of her head was taken off and was killed. And one of the characters, the Robert Duvall character in the film, is obsessed by crashes. Again, result of war and aggressions and so on and so forth. But and if there's any crash in the state, he gets there to go and look at it. He's known to the police. He's always there and so on. And there's this exhibition going through town of Jayne Mansfield's crashed car.
They took her car on a sort of tour of the United States. Some guy bought the car, and they would take it to different towns, and you would pay money to look inside the car, you know. I went because my father took me, because he took me to car wrecks also. And then Tom Epperson and I went and saw it also. It was always odd to me that people like to see other people's pain. It's a weird thing. I don't understand it. And so that's why I made this movie. It's because people have a romantic idea of war sometimes, particularly the First World War and the Second World War. There's a romance about it. And that all ended with the Vietnam War. The romance was kind of out of it there, which had a lot of different effects, you know. And in this movie, the Vietnam War is still going on, so it's sort of a foreshadowing of what's going to be, what those Vietnam veterans are going to feel when they come home, because we know that now. And this kid doesn't realize that at the time, you know.
Mama? Daddy?
Hey, buddy, hey.
Daddy?
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Father?
Okay. The film has quite an ironic view on the 60s. How did you experience that?
The 60s, well, the 60s was my 20s, so I was just enjoying it, or not enjoying it, as 20-year-olds tend to be, you know, I mean.
Well, I was, in 1969, I was 14.
Okay.
So we were so into music that the 60s to kids my age was all about the music. We saw the Vietnam War on television, but we didn't understand it. And so I became a hippie. The 60s were a great time for music and movies and art. It was a great time of artistic freedom and the free love, which was kind of nice. We don't have free love in the States as much as they do in some other countries.
So is Kevin Bacon's character the one that you can relate the most to?
I probably relate to the character that I played, and that's why I played it. A guy who's damaged, from being involved in a lot of pain and seeing himself as lesser than other people, because I don't have a very high opinion of myself, personally.
You reckon how many people lived a ripe old age if we didn't go anywhere? Because transportation kills a lot of people. Yeah. What if the last thought in the world was, God damn it, here comes a car across the center line about to kill me because I had to get out at 10 o'clock at night for a roll of toilet paper?
I understand that this film is very personal for you, but did you also draw any inspiration from other films or directors?
My influences are mainly from novelists. I don't have many screenwriting influences. Okay. So the Southern writers, the novelists like Faulkner, Carson McCullers, Eudora Welty, and John Steinbeck and Tennessee Williams, people like that are really my influences. And I tend to more write sort of books on film, you know what I mean? I guess you would say. When I'm working and making my own film, I like to stay away from other movies because I don't want any influences. I want to stick to what's already in my head.
Could you give us some of your favorite films?
Oh yes, High Noon. I'm going to name some things that you may not know, but High Noon and Best Years of Our Lives, Easy Rider, and then there are a lot of them, but I mainly watch older films,